3, 2, 1. Activate.
Bold words from the Razer team, but that is a good start. Important to get to the ball first. Razer the second fastest in the field. Dead Metal comes across to block the goal there at the near post. Trying to protect it with the arms. It's got in off the deflection though. Razer will claim it. It means they're through. Oh, hot stuff for Elvis from the sergeant. Razer will go through. Elvis is on fire. That's a problem for their team. But Razer, nicknamed after Razor Ruddock of West Ham in England. They're through.
On the right, Vincent Blood in the middle, Ian Lewis on the left-hand side. We all know Razer weighing in at 79.2 kilos. And they're that great crushing arm. And their main tactic, they tell us, to have fun.
Hey, let's make it fun.
1. Activate.
Brilliant. Got into the spirit of things, smashing, crashing into the barrels. Early points, at least 25, 30 picked up there, spinning away. In comes Killalot now. Killalot has the freedom of the arena here. Bash, don't forget, is guarding a target, a 50-point target. Razer bumps Bash, bounces off. Maybe wiser to get 20 points by going up the ramp. Very few have tried that. Trying to get round the back of Bash. 50 points scored there by Razer. This is a good run early on, you know. Here's Simon Scott at the control. His hero's the late actor and comedian John Candy. You'll remember him. Now to try and score 75 points. And this is an interesting tactic. You haven't seen this before. Missing out the multi-ball challenge completely and going over to another target to get easy points scored. Can't go back to that target. Now the multi-ball release. That's another 10 then. This is a very good run. And Dominator at long last could be challenged here. Intelligent driving. The sphere's in the pit. I didn't see that earlier on. The barrel's knocked down as well. This is a splendid run by Razer. Barrel into the pit. That's a nice touch. You won't get anything for the bricks, except consternation from the people who put the arena together again. Now the car door swings. They've virtually completed the whole arena here. What a marvellous run by Razer. That's splendid. They loved it. So did the crowd. Even the Dead Metal fans did, I should think. Oh, dear. Old Egghead. Driving magnificently. New leaders, Razer, 210 points. That's phenomenal in the Pinball Challenge. Wonderful. Diotoir of Ireland, with their furry machine, Bog-Eyed, and Razer of England.
3.
This to become the first International Robot Wars League champions. Quick start by Razer. Certainly the nippier of these two robots. The more powerful, I'd say, in terms of destructive ability. But Diotoir has been so hardy throughout Robot Wars history. Set on fire, crumpled and bashed, but still coming back. You can see the springs to load that front-lifting arm. Hoisted into action. A bit of a dance developing. Again, the spring-loaded lifting arm flicking up. Oh, but this is where the damage could be so costly. They've gone for the armour just in front of one of the springs of the Razer team. Ian Lewis, Vincent Blood and Simon Scott. These two teams, by the way, the Diotoir boys, Peter, Joe and Kieran, and the Razer team, magnificent characters. Great fun to have in the pits. And at the moment, it's Simon and Ian doing all the damage with Razer. Again, coming in on the attack. Oh, Diotoir, very nearly here. On and into the pits. And in comes Dead Metal with a shunt. He won't be needed. Razer! The first International Robot Wars League champions. Disappointing end for Diotoir into the pit. Razer wins it for England. Always looked the more destructive of all the robots in this International League Championship. Great sportsmanship from Diotoir, acknowledging the crowd, but it's Razer, crown champions.
National title holders, Razer, electrically powered, 9 tons of hydraulic piercer, won't come into play here because it's points on the board that matter. Tucking the barrels straight away. 5 points for each of those barrels sent scuttling, so 20 points easily picked up. Comes head-to-head with Dead Metal. Trying to get in behind. Matilda here to score 50 points if they can hit that target. Side on, they just about got there. Razer, the target is lit up. Now, where do they go? Towards the car door there, bottom left of your picture, to pick up more points. Tentatively towards the car door, open that door, more points on the board here. Yep, that's another 25 points scored for Razer. The door swings idly as they try and take on Killalot and get to the big 75. Time is ticking down for Razer. Killalot just nudges them away. Get some sense there of the size of Killalot. Enormous. And I think they're sacrificing points here for an attack on Killalot. They are. They're going for the hydraulic cable on Killalot. Trying to pluck away the cable, but they've ruined their efforts in the Pinball Warrior Challenge. Time has run out on them. They went for an attack and not for points. And why not? The crowd are there to be entertained. And they were with a steady start. 5 points for each of those barrels down. But I wonder if it was just about now, when they were too slow getting the 50, that they realised Spawn and Scudder's scoreline was too far ahead of themselves. They couldn't get there. We'll just add a couple here. 25 points for the car doors. But then we attack the house robots and Killalot, the biggest of them all. That's what I think they did. That's why the score of Razer, only 95 points. Spawn and Scudder, still 20 points ahead at the top. But look at the robots to come, including Diotoir, Firestorm, Kilohertz as well. Exterminator's great run, staying in the sumo arena for 1 whole minute, means the only way it can be beaten if one of the remaining robots pushes Shunt out within that given minute. But coming next, the reigning world and international champions. Let's see what they can do.
From Bournemouth, seed number 3, Razer.
3 great competitors, Vinnie Blood, Simon Scott, Ian Lewis. Razer against Shunt. The object to stay on that sumo basho arena floor.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Of course now, shove Shunt out of the arena. Oh dear, Razer's gone. Straight away, they had to go on the attack, really. Trying to force Shunt out of the arena, and bang, crash, gone. Razer. Can't come back in, boys. You may try. Oh, what are you going to do? Bounce up off the rubber tyres? Razer.
Roboteers, stand by.
In the control pods, together, Wasp there on the left, team captain Rob Williams, and Brutus Maximus, led by Joe Justina on the right. And the bearded Ian Lewis, captain of the champions, Razer on the left, Raging Reality, captained by Nigel Paget on the right. There's Sir Killalot of the house robots in the arena, with the Crusher and Sergeant Bash and the Flamethrower.
3, 2, 1, activate.
What a dramatic way to start Heat 1 of the Sick Wars with the reigning champions, Razer, there at the bottom of your picture, turning to have a go at Brutus Maximus, but chased into the corner by Raging Reality, getting away, spinning once again into the safety of the arena centre. There, the big, ponderous machine, Brutus Maximus, taking on Razer once again, and Razer trying to get in there on one of the tyres, and what was that being flipped? Wasp went into the air, but look at Razer crushing in here on the tyres of Brutus Maximus, which surely has not long left to survive. Seem to be deflated. There's the team captain of Brutus Maximus trying to get more out of his boy Joe Justina. Wasp is on its side. Now Razer trying to take on Raging Reality. Back comes Brutus Maximus. Only 2 survived this first melee. Wasp seems to be out of it. Razer pushing against Raging Reality, which is now caught between a rock and a hard place. In other words, between Razer and Sergeant Bash, but is still trying to gain momentum. Brutus Maximus, we saw there, is still alive, just trundling through the top of the picture, but Razer has control, and a clutch on Raging Reality, and once again going for the vulnerable spot. The tyres with the crushing beak. Just saw there the back of Vinnie Blood's balding head there in the control pod. Sergeant Bash looks on, so does the ref pod. Brutus Maximus a little bit lopsided, but still trundling. Razer's had a go at all of them, it seems to me. Where's Wasp in all this? Oh, overturned. over and out. Over to you, Sir Killalot, I would have thought, for the Wasp boys. We know there's no sting in there. And we know the end of the tail is nigh for Wasp. Buzz off and out of here. And fly away to fight another day. It looks gruesome. Now there's Raging Reality, and a little flip from them on Brutus Maximus. Razer had a look. Brutus Maximus, can they overturn? Wasp, we know, is finished. Oh, look at the shredding, though, of that drill. And there's the pit release button. Down goes the pit. That's been activated out there on the arena. And they want someone to go down in the pit. You see the sparks from the arena sidewalls there? Another one of our weapons. And now you can see Razer in on those bicycle wheels we were telling you about. All along, that was going to be a weak link for Brutus Maximus. Sir Killalot also has a little bit of a feel and a grope. Very unpleasant to think about. So is that washing machine suspended above the arena. It's the ultimate of the arena weapons, the drop zone. More on that later in a wheel. Goes into the pit of oblivion. Off Brutus Maximus. 3 wheels left on their wagon. And they know where their journey's going to end. We're on the flame pit right now. So burnt bicycle wheels. Coming to the arena with wooden bicycle wheels and petrol driven. What were they thinking about? And the ref bot is thinking about the count, and Brutus Maximus from Bradford are heading out. Smiles on their faces, 10 on the clock. They're out, says the crowd. Gone from the 6 Robot Wars battles in this first heat. The mayhem, though, goes on. Razer on Wasp. Down comes that great crushing mix. See the holes there? Drilled in Razer. That is to cut down on the amount of weight they have in the arena. Up comes Brutus Maximus, and they're long gone. Raging Reality tossed them out of the arena. I like Raging Reality slipper, you know. Seats is cool. Wasp counted out. Rob Williams, Edward Kelly, and Chris Ford, you've gone. And we know now the team's through. Raging Reality and the reigning champions, Razer.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Razer, the #1 seeds for this series of Robot Wars, come on the attack. They say they suss Cyrax out. Is that a weak link in there? Then behind that flipper, they seem to want to get the crushing beak in underneath that front flipper of Cyrax. Cyrax also has the axe, the pickaxe. But Razer can attack just about anywhere, it would seem. And they're already clawing their way through the purple pyramid and ripping it open. Cyrax will spin away, can get up to 12 miles an hour, weighs 100 kilos, 4 kilos heavier than Razer. Down comes the little pickaxe, the electric pickaxe. A little jab, it was tentative, it was worried, it was nervy, and no wonder they're on the flame pit. And Razer is penetrating and puncturing. They want Cyrax down in the pit. There's a scratch. There was Ian Lewis at the controls of Razer. They know where they want to drive Cyrax in towards the crushing jaws of the Growler. They can crush at a pressure of 4 tons those gnarling, snarling jaws. Push and shove. Growler to Razer and back again. And poor old Cyrax is the bone in this particular tussle and tug of war between the 2 dogs of war. Craggy old Growler and sharp as ever Razer. Cyrax got away for the moment. Oh, please don't go there. Don't go towards Mr. Psycho. The Razer was, there's Vinny Blood pointing something out. Some tactics. There's a man who once wrecked Razer at a charity event with his frivolous driving, Vinny Blood. I don't think the other team members, Ian Lewis and Simon Scott, have ever forgiven him. But this is a controlled display against those Cyrax boys. Mr. Psycho, 600 kilos away. Oh, down it comes! The huge 30 kilos club. And literally smashing Cyrax to pieces. It comes down again. Why are they laughing? Look at this. Oh, an off game. A little bit of the blinking light, I think. Yes, it did. Away. Maybe it was the lens from the light. Down came the club again. It's a thrashing, bashing machine. The mighty club is poised high, like a pendulum of doom. Look at the great
crevasse ripped out of Cyrax by Razer. Can anything stop Razer? World champions 2000 and 2001. UK Series 5 champions. They've won just about everything we've thrown at them, Razer. And they come back for more! They've been toppled though by Cyrax! Is this a sting in the tail of this heat? Are we about to have one of the Great Robot Wars upsets? Let's look at this again! Razer, were they over-complacent, overconfident? They're over. Toppled over. They've got a unique self-righting mechanism there. You see the great wings go out, but it's slow. I wondered right at the start of the program whether that was an Achilles heel. The sluggish pace of the self-righting mechanism. We call that a Shriemek in Robot Wars. Up it comes finally, Razer. They're relieved. Vinny Blood looks very relieved. Did you see that? I thought he looked most nervous there. Almost as if he sensed Razer had thrown it away. But if it goes to a judges, surely they've done enough to earn that decision. I think it will go to the judges. Ooh, they are relieved.
Roboteers, stand by.
Matilda, for the heat final, enters the arena for the House Robots. And Shunt with the bulldozer blade.
3, 2, 1.
Razer starts as red-hot favourite, but with the flipper, Raging Reality could get lucky. If Razer is overconfident, but it's got a grip already. Inside Raging Reality as the flipper came up, Razer took advantage, got the beak into the very innards of Raging Reality. That was what the Reality team feared. They're brilliant drivers, the Razer boys. They may sound confident. They've got every reason to be so. It is a hugely powerful, destructive machine, and they know what they're doing. Straight there, look, onto the tyres of Raging Reality. Up to 12 miles an hour, the Raging boys can generate fairly neat speeds. 16-year-old Lee Summers, Malcolm Summers and Nigel Paget, the weapons operator, the captain of the team. Razer, a little nudge. And see there on the right, Ian Lewis with the beard. Again coming onto the attack. Don't forget, the winner of this heat final goes into the series semi-final. Just trying to prise open a gap there. They're trying to get that beak in, and they're succeeding. Slowly, inexorably. Just weary. Raging Reality to defeat. Can Raging Reality come back? Remember, we'd almost counted them out against Tetanus 2 in round 2 of this first year, and they came back. But there's Matilda's flywheel, and look at the grate. Oh, split in the side of Raging Reality. Matilda's flywheel wrecking havoc. Razer pushing them to the flywheel. That was crucial, and look at that. Metal shards ripped off, tossed out of the arena. Raging Reality's wheels now left exposed to Razer's crushing beak. The CCC factor we talked about. Crushability creates chaos. And Razer moves away as Raging Reality is left on the pit, and Razer depresses the pit button. There is no motor left in Raging Reality, and they slip slowly out of the picture. Razer. Unbelievable. And the run continues. The first heat victors are the reigning UK champions. Razer. Next to him, and then Ian Lewis, the captain, and there's the Wild Thing, Adam's family, Nick and Isabel. In the arena is Growler for the House Robots, yawning or barking, and Sergeant Bash too.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
What a fight! Two of my favourite all-time robots. Wild Thing dashing away up to 12 miles an hour top speeds. Razer turning, just trying to get the feel for Wild Thing. And they have them in their grip, and down comes that hydraulic piercer and slices through the armament of Wild Thing. Isabel Adams at the weapons control of Wild Thing. Student, loves her singing, loves her drama and films. This is dramatic stuff out there. Razer at the weapons control. We just got a glimpse of Simon Scott. Now a full-time robot here. And why not with this machine that is world famous? So is that team, the Razer boys. They now try a push of Wild Thing. Razer 96 kilos, just the lighter of the two. This is grip and grapple stuff out there. And Wild Thing is trying to hold on so that Razer can't get the crushability factor into play. They're also trying to slice with that front cutting disc. There you see it beginning to turn, but they can't get a purchase on Razer. Razer has them within its grip. There are the exposed tyres we talked about earlier. This is very edgy stuff. Who is the more aggressive here? Is Wild Thing pushing? Is Razer dragging? Is the Wild Thing blade, we can hear it there, scraping the metal of Razer, causing any real damage? Is Razer's beak powerful enough to crumple through that Wild Thing armament? It's very close, but the tyre's about to go, and has gone. Punctured by the Razer beak, so the manoeuvrability of Wild Thing severely curtailed. Nick Adams at the controls, a self-employed electronic model supplier by Jay. And Wild Thing, not a model finalist at the moment because Razer looks to be halting its progress at this, the series semi-final stage. Can Wild Thing yet come back into it? Because I think that damage to the tyre could be decisive if it goes up to the judges. Not great control or style by Wild Thing onto the flame pit, bumping away. If it is beaten here by Razer, it gets another chance in the semi-final. It goes into the loser's melee. But I just wonder whether it's sustained too much significant damage here, Wild Thing, from Razer. It wasn't the most emphatic Razer performance we've seen, but it was steady enough, grisly in determination, and almost inexorably, Wild Thing was pushed, shoved, clawed, beaked towards defeat and the bitter doom. Razer certainly through to round two. You'll get another chance in the loser's melee. And there the pirouette, of course. Can the unseeded underdogs create one of the greatest surprises in Robot Wars history? Or will Dan Tomke's impressive run end right here and now? They try a flick, but Razer's already got them gripped with the part bird beak, part reptilian jaw. And this is the way they grappled with Wild Thing in the first round of this series semi-final. Razer getting in, fighting at close quarters to prevent being flicked. But Dan Tomke shoves them against the arena sidewall. Razer very low ground clearance. Dan Tomke going to have to go some to get in underneath, and Razer's got them again here. They don't seem to be able to crumple down through the armament, though, of Dan Tomke and Razer. And this is a difficult battle against those Dan Tomke boys for the reigning champions. I think they punctured them. Yes, they have. Or is that just a dent? Maybe it's just a dent, you know. I think it is. See if we can get a second look at it a little bit later on. There's Daniel Lambert, the weapons officer of Dan Tomke, teenager. Razer in underneath. Again, low ground clearance on Dan Tomke. Named after Michael's three children, Michael Lambert's three children. Razer's beak has been a role model for many a weapon in Robot Wars, and finally crumpling and piercing. It is immensely powerful, the hydraulic piercer of Razer, and it's pushing Dan Tomke slowly into submission. You know, what damage is it doing as it cuts through there? Pushed onto the arena, side angle grinder, but Dan Tomke away. The winner through to the grand final.
Razor again. Oh, look at that. Just crumpling down and preventing the Dan Tom Gear flipper working because of its awesome power, Razer. They simply can't get the weaponry working, Dan Tom Gear. And Razer has been once more monstrous as the hammer comes down of Mr. Psycho. Ooh, Razer, get away from there, I would. Push down Tom Gear into the CPZ, the corner patrol zone, and bang! Down came Mr. Psycho's hammer. Now Dan Tom Gear pushing Razer back towards a Kill-A-Lot. This is intriguing stuff. Because Razer are not through yet, not by a long shot. Dan Tom Gear right back in the fight.
Cease.
And it goes to the judges. They don't look too confident, or do they? And the great grappling pincers.
3, 2, 1.
The first battle of the grand final of Robot Wars, the 6th Wars, and Razer, the reigning champs, twice world champs, on the assault, on the attack, the terahertz weapon cleaving thin air, but with a metronomic beat. And look at Razer, already crumpling, already ripping, and tearing through that polycarbonate armour and straight into the heart of John Reed's machine. And it lifts terahertz in the air. It comes crashing down terahertz. If that axe can get a strike in on Razer, who knows? But Razer looks so dangerous. Impregnable. Grapples terahertz. There you saw it. Draw the opponent on with the front ram. Straight onto the beak. The weapons controlled by Simon Scott. Driving the machine. Ian Lewis, Vinnie Blood, of course, so vital as the Razer team look on with another victory in sight. Terahertz unseated, and the brilliant run comes to an end, and Razer march on. So close to another title now.
3, 2, 1.
What effect will the spinning blade at the front of Tornado have? Already on the attack, on Razer, and Razer! On the backward step, it seems! On the back foot, Razer, or are they? They've come and grappled Tornado's extended frame! That frame necessary to support that mighty horizontal spinning disc. Razer has stopped the disc. The disc starts flying again. Razer has that extra front claw bit to the beak to try and stop the spinning disc. But for me, Razer's extra weaponry seems to be bent and buckled. And is it flapping in the wind? It grapples with Tornado again. What a final! For Robot Wars, the 6th Wars, intrigue, mystery, suspense. Razer trying to grab hold. Refbot, get out of there if I was you. Shunt involved as well. It's all going off in the arena, I can tell you. Tornado's blade has been silenced and stopped there, but it's pushing into Razer. Razer bows its beak forward, but it can't get to the very heart of Tornado because Tornado has protected itself with that framework. Look at this. Forget the Tornado spinning blade. We didn't see this happening. The framework has stopped Razer's attackability. Brilliance from the Tornado team. Can Razer respond? Do you know, I think that little hook thing on the edge of the beak is to try and get at Tornado and lift up the framework, but Razer aren't going to get a chance, are they? Because Tornado slams and bangs. In comes Tornado again. Is this the end of an era? Is this the end of the Razer reign as champions of the UK? They are being smashed into submission. They cannot get away from the arena sidewalls, and the red bot comes in, and all of a sudden, the clock takes on a lurid and awful hue if you are a fan of Razer. They cannot get themselves released. They are pegged in there. And
in its desire and in its drive. Finally, Razer is released. There, do you see the little hook? I think it was intended to get in underneath that framework. But Razer's game plan has not worked, and Tornado's has. Right from the start of the series, they boasted of the interchangeable weaponry. We've seen a pusher. We've seen the little spinning disc. We've seen a front brow. And now we've seen the mighty spinning blade. And Tornado is finally pushed back by Razer. But is it too little? Is it too late? What a final this is. What heart Razer has. The sparks of dead metal fly onto the wings of Razer. Can they lift themselves and yet turn this battle around? They're trying to claw Tornado, trying to gain some purchase, but Tornado with that four-wheel drive, again, driving them back into the CPZ, pushing them into shunts, as it comes down. Razer and Ian Lewis know they've got a real fight now to retain their crown. Shunt lifted, Razer bashes down. They simply can't get at Tornado's machinery. They can't get at the exposed tyres with the beak. Vinny Blood looks concerned. Razer now trying to build up momentum for another attack. How can they get beyond that lattice work frame? They can't get into the heart of the matter. They can't get into the eye of the storm that is Tornado. Razer trying to force its way back into the final. You heard the pit release button being activated. Finally, Razer has lifted Tornado. Can they take them to the arena sidewall and push them out? It must be their only hope this late on. Tornado's weight, a huge factor here. Oh, that they can't get them down the pit. Look at that. It's an anti-pit device as well. An APD. We have never seen one before. We've heard about them. We have never seen an APD until now. And there it is. It goes to the judges. What innovation and what drama.
13 Black, John and Tasha Denny and Richard Morris. In the arena, Mr. Psycho, gruesome as ever. And also fighting for the House Robots, Shunt.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, were 13 Black spinning their weaponry before activate was sounded? Did they try and get a little advantage there? I wonder. Razer comes in and immediately stops one of those roulette blades spinning. Chaos 2 can get the flipper to work, but cannot hoist the combined weight of Razer and 13 Black. I'll remind you of the rules. One robot falls at this stage. 2 survive to the second round of today's show. Will it be Razer surviving? Brilliantly self-righting after that flip from Chaos. They landed right way up on those killer wheels. Were they lucky, or was it superb driving? It was a great attack by Chaos, and once again Razer have got to grips on 13 Black, and once again Razer, by doing so, have just opened themselves up to a flip by Chaos. But Chaos cannot lift 192 kilos of combined Razer and 13 Black. Razer very much here on the scent of 13 Black. Chaos comes in, something's come off Razer! Something is, it's one of the arms! One of the, they use those to pirouette and self-right Razer, but look at the attack of Chaos 2! And it was 13 Black spinning blade that ripped one of those arms away! Now, will Razer be able to self-right? Are the world champions here in real trouble? Twice world champions. Chaos 2, twice previously UK champions. After all, we're talking all-stars here. Razer and Chaos 2, have they been immobilised? Razer has a look and a crumple, and in goes the beak and pierces Chaos 2's armament. They know the weak spots of Chaos 2. So many battles over the years. Is it time for Chaos to go back to the drawing board and replan George Francis there on the right? Because your machine is in dire peril. Being lifted up by Razer. 13 Black, top of your picture, staying out of trouble, but I think did well early on here. Could be a surprise factor in these All-Star Championships. Don't forget, you'll see the climax, the All-Star final later on. Firestorm already there. And the ref bot counting down and counting out a sad looking Chaos 2. Out they go. The lights are blinking, George Francis. But there's no one at home. Oh no! Ignominy. Infamy. What's going to happen? Will the crushing hammer of Psycho come down, or will it be the floor flipper? It is! Chaos 2, over and out in the All-Stars Championship. Oh, not the hammer now, surely. Ooh! What was not flat before is now mighty. There's the pit release button, activated by Shunt, perhaps just to put Chaos 2 out of its misery. Mr. Psycho has you in its claw. That just gives you some sense of Psycho's size out there. He is immense. It's just a mere bauble, a toy in the grip of Psycho. I wonder if that's the last time we'll see Chaos 2 in that format. Maybe the end of an era here.
3, 2, 1.
Razer, quick out of the stalls, has to avoid the flipper of Spawn again. Operates at 1,000 PSI, that flipper. Razer seems to have sensed that the Achilles heel for Spawn again is at the rear, where the remote control aerial is, and just trying to get it a grip. Because there are the two sort of handles, if you like, of Spawn again. Now wedging in on the flipper itself. We're not too sure about Ian Lewis's new haircut. He did suggest that Philippa copied it in the pits. The exchange was a frank and short one. Out comes Razer again. And it's wedged shut. Spawn against Flipper. Look at the power of Razer's crushing beak. We call it the CF, the crushability factor of the twice world champions. And Spawn again simply can't get out and cannot attack. Razer have pushed them away there onto the flame pit, onto the angle grinder. Luke Jackman, the weapons operator of Spawn, cannot get the flipper working, even if it is operational. I'm not too sure it is. Oh! And they've driven themselves onto the pit, which is descending. What have I done? What have we done? Down they go. Spawn again and again. Oh no, I don't. And they didn't spin up to speed before Activate was called, but Razer still got a very early attack in. Then they get the winner of this goes on to fight Firestorm 4 in the All-Stars Grand Final. 13 Black moves away. Looks pretty as a picture, but not causing any damage. Until it came side on into the Razer team's machine. But 13 Black, I think, has impaled itself on the sidewall of the arena. I think the discs were spinning so quickly, they've actually sliced into the arena sidewall. And 13 Black has impaled itself, which means that Razer can drive on and crumple, and bend and buckle, and bruise the hopes of 13 Black. That roulette wheel was turning so viciously quickly. It literally sliced into the Macrolon's sidewall and stuck itself on. John Denny at the controls of 13 Black. A crash test photographer by Trey looks on as Razer has a grip now. The inexorable grip of the world champions. Former UK champions. Current All-Star champions. One of the greatest robots ever conceived, designed and built, and now horribly improved. Pit, pit, pit is cried by the crowd. Down goes the pit. The controls of Razer ever so secure. And although 13 Black isn't budging for the moment, Both you and I know the outcome of this, don't we? Razer is not going to give up now. Ooh, Richard Morris looks crestfallen. They've done brilliantly to get this far in this All-Stars heat. But whatever your number, odd or even, red or black, your number's up if you're a 13 black fan. Down they go, very slowly. Razer are through to the All-Stars final. Watch just about everything.
3, 2, 1.
The beak of Razer, the flipper of Firestorm 4. Hugely powerful Firestorm 4. Very low ground clearance. 0.1 centimetre. Graham Bone at the controls. Very experienced. Previous All-Stars semi-finalists. Now in the All-Stars Grand Final, but under pressure from Razer. Mind you, Dead Metal has Razer in its clutches, and down comes the saw on the armament of Razer. Well, he's grinning it, he's bearing it, and Graham Bone is steering it. Firestorm 4, that is, back into Razer. Razer in trouble momentarily and away. Firestorm 4 wedged under the angle grinder, it seems. They need to move and move quickly, because Razer has the CF, the crushability factor. Graham Bone will know that. A design engineer by trade. Man who has guided Firestorm through many a Robot Wars battle, including the grand final of the 5th UK series of Robot Wars, when they were beaten by Razer. And Razer crumples down again. Part bird, part reptile. The whole is a mean machine. Also in there, Dead Metal. Razer on top in the All-Stars final. You don't need me to tell you that. Hazel looks glum. Graham Bone looks concerned. Razer look triumphant. Out come the wings of victory, which signal the wings of doom for the defeated. The crowd waggle the pit, banners and flags. Firestorm tries to turn away. It cannot escape the clutches of Razer. Now with the killer wheels, they say. What can Graham do here? Can he get the pneumatic forward hinge flipper to work? Time is running out. I don't think there's any life in that flipper, do you? Not really. I think they are almost accepting the inevitability of defeat. Razer squeezes the beak in. You're talking a very good machine. Crestfallen, I think, is the word. Well, the pit release has been activated. Firestorm, I think, trying to seek a way out, and no wonder. Razer punishing again. They really don't want to let Firestorm off the hook at all. They've made marks and tears and holes, scrapes and scratches. Absolutely dominant once again. Razer are about to win the All-Stars Championship again. Firestorm valiant, but vanquished. And they always knew they were second best.
3, 2, 1. Debate.
The world champions against the Dutch champions. Pulverizer chased down by Razer. Part bird, part reptile, they've always called Razer. Reigning world champions. There goes the floor spinner. Pulverizer twists. Enormous crushability. The Razer beak and the growler jaw. And Pulverizer in between the two. Talk about between a rock and a hard place. You do not want to be there. Pulverizer, pulverize in a minute, unless you can get away. And up to your 13 mile an hour top speeds, run away. tells you, down crushes that beak at the controls. Ian Lewis, the captain. Misha de Graaf tries to get Pulverizer away, a model maker, the Elvis lookalike in his dreams. Pulverizer away, over the arena floor, into CPZ very nearly. Out comes Sir Killalot with his blue suede shoes, well hardly. Pulverizer caught there once again, doing very, very well to survive, I think, with Razer. Razer, reigning world champions. Misha, the controls of Pulverizer, slamming into the ref bot, dashing away. Oh, now an attack on Razer. Was Razer stunned there by Pulverizer? Seemed momentarily, to be stunned. Pulverizer very nearly turned into the pit. Oh, it has done now. And the Dutch domestic champion into the pit, our very own Heartbreak Hotel.
Stand by.
In the arena for the house robots, we have the flames of Sergeant Bash, and we have the jaws of Growler.
3, 2, 1.
This is a vengeance battle. Razer beat Tornado in the semi-finals of the World Championships in 2001. Tornado beat Razer in the last domestic finals. The Sixth Wars. Can Razer get through that web-like protection? Can they cut their way through? Tornado smashing Razer back onto Sergeant Bash. Razer pushes back again. 92 kilos of Razer trying to lift Tornado up. That's how you deal with the anti-crush web. You get a grip and you lift it up and you try and take Tornado towards the arena side walls, I would imagine. Can they hoist Tornado? Simon Scott of the weapons control. Ian Lewis driving. Oh, they pull. They hoist Tornado up. Tornado can't get their weaponry working at all to any great effect. Andrew Marchant driving there. Razer pulling Tornado across towards the pit release. There's no way Tornado would go down that pit. Not with that webbing on the side. Look at the smoke from Razer. Trying to get traction on the arena floor. Are they burning themselves out, though? Tornado digging in. What a tussle this is between the UK champions and the world champions for a place in the European final. Razer is smoking. Tornado is gripping. Anxiety etched on faces. They mean this. They want this. This is terrific. A real old tug of war developing. Tornado digging in. Razer clawing. How close is this? You can see there. Simon Scott trying to draw Tornado higher and ever closer to the pit. Can they line them up? Will they take the big fall? At the back there of Ian Lewis, we can see the concentration in the Razer camp. Tornado very close to defeat, but how can it go down the pit? Will the judges take a look at this rigging for future robot wars? Should it be allowed? Is that rigging too big for the pit? What do you make of it? Razer on top, pushing, but couldn't finish them off.